We are live. Hope everyone is having a nice day. Let's head to our puzzle rush. We're at 37. I do want to double check, make sure that all of my stuff is open. Nightbot, and that I'm actually live. I'll double check. Yep, I'm live. All right, here we go. Emma Gaming. Emma Gaming, it's been a minute. Hope everything has been well with you. Emma Gaming, can you remind me, please, what your chess.com username is? And we'll get a game. No pun intended. So there is a double check I could do here. Craig Monk, yes. Awesome. It's always good to see a familiar person. All right, we'll hold off on Puzzle Rush and we'll get a game. Craig Monk. Here we go. All right, challenge sent. Thanks for sending the likes my way. Really appreciate it. All right, good luck. Here we go. Start off with pawn to e4. Let's respond with the Caro-Kann. And we'll play this. Hey, Tom, look at that. Congratulations. Fantastic news. Was today your first day? We'll take here. Bring out the bishop. Whenever I take back here and the knight comes here, that knight is a bit awkward because the pawn is guarding these two squares. Yeah, I hear you. Priorities. How was your first day? All right, bishop's attacked. I could trade it, but I mean, after queen takes rook here, but what's the fun in that? Let's try to keep pieces on the board, keep things complex. We'll just do that. All right, bishop comes over here. What to do next? Maybe tuck the bishop down, put a queen on d6, and if they're not careful, a quick checkmate on h2. My day was pretty good, Stephanie. Good to see you. I was not expecting to see you pop up in my chat. That's my girlfriend, everybody. All right, we're going to go here. And now we have a pretty dangerous battery going on. They have to hurt their pawn structure a bit. Now, I'm thinking to put a bishop on this square and create a pin, and that's threatening queen takes. I could also take the time to develop my knight, but let's do this. It's a little bit more direct. Now, this threat is pretty real. They have to do something about it. They don't do anything about it. We're going to take... The pawn cannot take our queen, guys, because the bishop is pinning that pawn. I love you, too. All right. What to do now? Maybe at this point I should move my queen back and enjoy the damaged kingside. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Then we're fine to bring in a knight. Okay, the knight is hitting the queen and bishop. So we go over here. That's why I wanted to move the queen back. Otherwise, the knight could have gone here and it could have created some problems with my queen still sort of hanging on g3 if they're able to drive away that pin like what they did. So sometimes after you take a piece, you should be fine to drop back and not worry too much. Butterfrog says, all hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis. I have no idea what that is. What's up, a chess player? We'll go here. I see you're back to your regular account this time. Awesome. Glad to see you in my queue. Let's bring in the knight. Now this bishop is pinned. I could try going like here to put some pressure on it. But we'll see what happens. Butterfrog, I have no clue what you're talking about. No clue. Alright. There's almost a fork, but the bishop is here. And I can't really take because the queen could actually take. But here's an idea. I can actually get two bishops. Queen takes queen, bishop takes, and then I can sack the rook. And then after pawn takes, then go here and pick up that other bishop. And I think that works out for me. So let's do it. Let's take the queen. We'll sack the rook. And then we have this. Picking up that other bishop. Let's do it. We'll go here. We'll go there. And I think this is excellent for me. Oh, Shakespeare play Macbeth? I'm not familiar. It's daytime for you because you live in the Philippines? It's daytime for me too. Oh, you mean it's the next day in the morning? That is pretty cool. Let's back up my knight so the rook doesn't take it. Oh no, I only have 19 seconds. Where did this go? How did this happen? This is not good. I'm about to run out of time, but I can still make things tricky for my opponent. As long as I play fast, I should be a-okay. We're going to go here next. Probably no matter what, but I don't want to pre-move it, because pre-moving, especially here, would be stupid. We're going to back up the bishop. I think I can almost pre-move it, but I'm going to hover over. Hover over that square, ready to drop it. I think I'm going to flag my opponent. I don't think my opponent's realizing how bad this time situation is getting. I'd love to play 95 next. Now, suddenly I'm the one up on time. Look at that. Genuinely decent? Yeah, maybe. Let's go here. My opponent's going to run out of time. Simply does not have enough time. Time out. And I take the dub. Yeah, you just have to recognize when you're in time control issues, like time pressure. Is it okay if I send my games in Facebook? What do you mean by that? I didn't know you could play games on Facebook. Do you mean like to review? Or what do you mean by that? Hey Seth, good to see you again. Welcome back. No, like to post? Do you mean like to post on your personal Facebook, like our games? Yeah, I don't care. That is fine with me. R&B Garcia, that was from last time, so I'm going to do next again. Yeah, totally cool with it. If you want to drop my YouTube channel, that'd be cool too. Is Exxon Boom here? That might have been from yesterday. I think that was from yesterday. Guys, I'm going to grab water real quick. I'll be right back. Gotta stay hydrated. Very important. Take care, Emma Gaming. Thanks for the game. Alright, a chess player. You are up, Mr. Yummy Apple Time. Let's get a game. Yummy. Yummy here. May have to search you up from... There you are. Yummy Time Apple. 1, 2, 3. Alright, challenge sent. I'm pretty sure Emma is a dude because the username is Greg. Good luck, a chess player. Alright. We do the sacrifice line 1000% every time. King is a little bit open, but completely safe. Alright. Let's go here to stop any of this knight nonsense. This move looks decent. Potentially going there. Not quite yet, though. I could take twice and damage the pawn structure, but I'm not totally convinced. I think this is better. Rook f1 hitting the queen here. Seeing where the queen would like to go. So I'm threatening to win a pawn if they back off this row here. That looks to me like a fork. Just a straight up fork. That pawn is hitting the queen and hitting the knight. And we take. We take. What are they doing here? They're trying to go for some cheesy checkmate with the queen. But that's simply not going to work. Because I can move my bishop somewhere. Or even my rook. Let's move the bishop over here. Threatening to take, and then I have a bishop and rook on this pawn. And moving the bishop out of the way gets my queen to support that g2 pawn. Hey, Soph. How are you doing today? Good to see a new face. Alright, the pawn pushes, but this doesn't really address this. Glad to hear it. Okay, I can take here, and this is a fork. We pick it up. And now we'll take this bishop. Step aside. And we're completely fine. Let's take the pawn. The king moves, I just move my king. And now there's absolutely nothing that black has. Let's throw in a check. Let's take. Now we're threatening this. We're threatening that. This is going to be a mate in 2. Check. We'll move here and then mate. Good game of chess player. Who is next in my queue? Let's see. Thank you, Soph. Appreciate the support. Good game. Seth, you're up. Seth, I'm pretty sure I know your username. Let me see here. Seth, you are Seth8463. Yeah, you did play really bad that game. Oh, he's playing a game. Seth is currently playing a game. Let's see what's going on. Seth is not doing too hot. It looks like he has a very weak back rank. A draw by agreement? What the heck? How is this a draw? Black has so many passed pawns that they can run down the board. This is totally a win for black. Come on, Seth, you gotta do better. Yeah, but the opponent would have had to agree. The opponent was crushing. He shouldn't have agreed. Alright, Seth. Challenge sent. You can draw the craziest position sometimes. Oh, you know it. But by agreement, I mean, come on, stalemate or repetition or whatever, it's one thing, but by agreement, if you're up 3 pawns and they're passed pawns, there's no way in hell I'm going to agree to a draw. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Magnus Carlsen. If I'm up 3 pawns and they're passed, no draw. Okay, maybe Magnus Carlsen would be the only exception. But anyone else, no. No way. All right, let's go with, I guess knight over here looks good. So my pawns don't get doubled up. Take here. I think some days I'm really good at chess, and some days I'm an 0.5 ELO player. Oh, I hear you on that. It's the consistency more than anything. All right, so this is an interesting idea. If I fork, he could play queen to h5 check. But then I can push the pawn, and the knight can't take it because I have a bishop here. So to me, this looks like a fork. So let's do it. Let's do it. This, I will push the pawn. And they're still in trouble. Now I'm hitting their queen. If this bishop weren't here, this would work. But the bishop is here. So we take back with it. And now we're hitting the queen, we're hitting a bishop. This is lights out. Yeah, Magnus is the type of person to do that. He's the type that can wiggle away from anything. That's a huge blunder. That just gives up the queen. So we take. We take. Let's castle. Never too late to castle. Well, sometimes it is too late to castle, but not in this case. Let's go over here. Now we're hitting the bishop. Where is this bishop going? Over here? I guess then we need to make a move, don't we? What to do? Maybe get my rook active. Let's go over here so it's lined up against the king. All right. What to do now? Maybe this move makes sense of putting on some pressure over here. If he pushes that pawn, it's going to create some serious light squared weaknesses, and I'm going to maybe try to occupy it with my queen, with like queen b7, queen d7, and then occupy it with queen h3 to deliver a checkmate on g2. That's my kind of idea. It's where my mind's at right now. People make mistakes like that queen blunder, but it's okay as long as you learn from them. Oh, 100%, yes. It's all part of the learning experience. That's a good move. It blocks the attack from the rook, and now this bishop is very vulnerable. So let's tuck it down, hit this pawn. If the pawn pushes, we take the rook behind it. And if the rook moves, okay, I could either grab it now or take the pawn. I think grabbing it now makes a ton of sense. If the rook goes here, it blunders the rook. Every day when you wake up, you always check my channel around 1 to 2 times after 5 minutes so I can play. Wow, that's awesome. I'm glad I have a big fan. Really appreciate your early support here while I try to ramp up my YouTube channel. It's these early supporters like you that make a big difference. So really do appreciate it. And I called it that rook hung, and we go here. Hitting the rook again. Let's go here. He's not taking the pawn. I won't even give him that satisfaction. We could have also took here with check, but whatever. Let's just do it now. Why not? Check. Where's he going? Here runs into a pin. There's a good move. It's probably the best one. Let's go over here. I just found this channel, but love how you explain your moves in the game in simple terms, making it easy to learn and understand. Yeah, that's the name of the game. That's where my brand core squares come from. Core is in sticking to the fundamentals, and squares is in all of the beautiful 64 squares of the board. That's my teaching style. That's how I coach. Let's go here. Check. And we pick up a rook. Check. And now we have a queen and rook on that rook for a mate. Good stuff. So if you're down for a game, I would love to play you. Good game, Seth. Well played. Checkmate. Yes, sir. Let's see who's up. Q is empty. anybody want to play? All right, we have a rematch from Seth. I'm going to give it to him. He's also been a long-time supporter. Let's do this. All right, we have a Petrov. Against the Petrov, I like to transpose to a Scotch 4 Knights, which is exactly what happened here. Just because I don't really like playing the Petrov. It has a lot of heavy theory to know. Yeah, if no one's in the queue, then I'll accept rematches. But that's the only time when I will accept a queue. So if someone else comes along and challenge me, they'll take precedence. Just if my queue's empty, I'm cool with it. I hope that's a fair and reasonable take on it. I'm going to castle queenside. All right, that's a good move now. I think I have to take the bishop. The knight's on here, and also there are 2 pieces attacking the bishop. And I can't simply move my queen to protect it. So I think I will take here. Knight takes, and then I take here, and it's just a trade. I think it's okay. So we take. King will have to take back. The king can't castle. That's actually good for me. I can castle, though. And we're going to castle, and our rook is going to be on the same line as that king. Pawn structure is relatively healthy. I'm thinking to play something like knight b5 to go into d6. That could be interesting. Let's do it. Then it could open up the door for me kicking away that knight and then targeting this pawn over here. Let's do it right now. Let's go here. Bishop takes bishop, rook takes. And then it really encourages me to play f4 because my rook will be behind it supporting that pawn. This is a serious threat right now because the knight's the only defender of that pawn. When the knight moves away, I can grab this one and then have a fork on these 2 pieces. Okay, so they avoid the fork. I'm still going to play f4 anyway because I want to crack open and get some center control. Beast mode and haunt. What's up? Good to see you. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to Core Squares. What do I want to do now? Probably play a quiet move now. c3 to stop the knight from entering in my territory. Yeah, his pawn structure is solid. Let's go here. And we'll back up our knight. Maybe point at d5. Check. Could be promising. This is a nice juicy square. Let's push. This pawn over here is backwards. Maybe I'll pile it up. Rook d2, put a rook behind it, and target this pawn over here. Let's do it. Let's go over here. Don't rule it out in terms of a draw. Even though the position is equal, it's still a fight to be had. I'm liking my position a lot more structurally because of this weak pawn on d7. I'm going to pile up on it a bit. Oh, guys, there's a fork here. You still think it's a draw, a chess player? That's a fork. I should have played it before. But we take, and we enjoy it. Let's go over here, threaten to take the knight. The pawn will not be able to take back because of the pin. Okay, the knight is a little bit awkward. Let's go over here and prevent the knight from coming over here. All right, now we push. Where's this knight going? The knight has to come here. Yep. But let's go over here. Let's still maintain some control. Interesting move. Let's go over here. Pawn pushes. That creates some weaknesses and more mobility for my rook on f6. Maybe over there, targeting this pawn. Otherwise, how is he going to defend this? He's not, so we take the pawn. Oh, I could have took this pawn with the fork and picked up the knight. Whatever, we're dominating this position. This is what happens in Bullet. You don't make the most accurate moves, but you make a move that gets the job done. That's all you need to do. We'll go here. And maybe this looks pretty good. Yeah, beast mode, you can totally play me. Let's sacrifice the rook. We have so many more pawns. The beast mode, just sub to my channel and put !join inside the chat. And then I think you'll be next. We'll take, and all right, let's get a pass pawn. Ooh, this is getting tricky, but I think I'm okay. We'll go here. We totally take over here, and we're fine. We are completely fine. I'm not scared at all. I meant to go to this square, but whatever. We'll just go here and here, and now this pawn is a passer. And we're going to get a queen, just like that. We'll lock the king out. Scoop up this pawn. Come here. Push this pawn. Get another queen. Come over here, and then give a checkmate. Guys, I pre-moved so many moves. I hope you're all I hope you're all able to follow along what I was doing. That was a lot of pre-moves. Okay. Yes, !, then join right after, no space. Beast mode, what's your chess.com username? You did well, Seth. That was a solid attempt. 70 moves. That's how long this game was. Went down to the wire. Beast mode. Do you have... Oh, here we go. Eric the Gamer 17. I'm just going to copy paste that. And we'll get a game. So you can rematch only if there's nobody in the queue. If I'm completely empty, then sure. Otherwise, I'm keeping my rule of one person per stream. If the queue's totally empty, I'll open it up, but just to keep things fair for new people who want to play me. All right, Eric, I sent you the challenge. Seth actually survived longer than you? Yeah, he did. All right, challenge sent to you, Beast Mode. Good luck. Oh, is this not you? You're 18? Oh, okay, I put the wrong one then. Let me go back. We will do 18. There you are. Found you. Let's get a game. I guess Eric the Gamer is a pretty common username. There's 17, there's 18, there's probably all the numbers. Here we go. We have a French defense. Let's see what he does again in the French defense. Okay, beautiful. We're playing a classical French defense. When I play French defense, I go knight to d2. This is known as the Tarrasch variation. And I think it packs a punch. This move to me doesn't seem so good. I'll take. And we'll just develop like normal. Okay, I'm in check. I'm going to defend it with my knight. And then castle next. And this is already looking pretty solid for me. Let's castle, put a rook on e1, and maybe drive the knight away. Yeah, let's go here. This is a very offbeat variation of the French defense by black. Will it work? I don't know. I don't think this works, because now I can play this beautiful move, knight f4, and I think the queen is trapped. If the bishop takes the knight, rook takes queen. Oops, rook takes queen. Well, I could do that now anyway. And my point is, that queen was pinned. And this block doesn't work because the rook could take, and it's protected by the knight, and then I'm still on the queen. I guess knight here would be the only move. And then I would have to like take this pawn or something. So the queen wasn't lost, but after this, the queen is just lost. So we take. Yep, bishop takes. It's the only logical move. But then pawn push a chess player, you said? Here. I don't know what pawn push you're referring to. Knight here takes. I don't know what you're talking about, but we can go over that after the game. If knight there, then pawn push? Maybe. All right, let's go over here. Develop the knight, and now we're targeting the bishop. Where is my opponent going? I'm not sure, a chess player. I'll have to go back after the game. All right, never exchange when you're down material, because then we're just going to simplify into an easy game. Rewinds, this is the same YouTube account. I just changed the name. I think you asked that in a comment. We'll hit the knight. I did a rebrand to Core Squares. It's easier to remember, more meaningful, and the domain name for coresquares.com was pretty cheap, so I snagged it. And it's also kind of my name, Core as in Corey. All right, where's this knight going? It's got to go back somewhere. Maybe here or here. That move to me doesn't make sense. We just grab it with the king. I would love to play like queen d2, queen h6, and then deliver mate over here. Okay, the rook is attacked, but we take the pawn. And we're totally fine. No worries there. Yeah, my plan, queen d2, queen h6, give a checkmate. That's the plan. I'm the man with the plan. All right, let's do it. I don't care about this bishop. I don't care about this rook. The knight can have both. I'm more interested in checkmate. So we'll come here. I don't care that this rook is loose. I care about that. Would it be a good idea to trade as white if the checkmate wasn't there? Yes. 1000% yes. Checkmate. Hey, Exxon Boom. Good to see you again. Welcome back. GG. Yeah, whenever you're up material, you should look for trades. That'll help you boil down to an endgame where you're up material. And I have a great analogy for this. So let's say you have an army of 99 people and you're fighting an army of 100 people. That difference of one person is like, it's negligible, right? It's barely noticeable. But as you reduce that ratio down to a boil, like all the way down, it suddenly becomes 1 versus 2. And suddenly you're at double. So you can turn a marginal advantage, trade down, and it can turn into a big advantage. That's how I see it. All right, next up, Mr. Exxon Boom. And you are, I'm a break mateable. Happy to help break things down. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words. I'm a break mateable. Here we go. Pretty sure I'm spelling it right. There we go. Also, you did not resign after rook takes queen. That's cool. Yeah, never resign. That's my core philosophy. Never resign, unless if the position is like absolutely hopeless and you're playing someone much stronger than you. Okay, maybe it's ultimately your call if you want to continue on or not. But if you resign, there's 100% chance you lose. If you don't resign, you could always have that chance of a stalemate. So keep it alive until the bitter end is my suggestion. If your elo is under 1500, never resign. Play it out till checkmate. You can learn something from it. Or like that accepted draw. Yeah, I have no idea why that opponent accepted a draw. Let's castle. I don't like white's pawn structure by the king. They already pushed their pawns a little bit here. And I'd love to take some advantage of that. No easy way for me to do it right now, but it's something to keep in the back of my mind that these two pawns will be targets. Let's go over here and put a little bit of pressure on the knight. Yeah, like the last time you played me, exactly. I wiggled out of that one. I had no business drawing that game, but I did. Okay, let's go here with the knight. After knight takes, bishop takes. Now my bishop's looking a little bit closer to these pawns. Okay, I do not want a bishop trade right now. Not what I'm aiming for, so let's back it up. Maybe I could take the pawn to open up the queen on this row. You'd castle queen side so you can attack the king side. Yeah, that would have been smart. That probably would have been good. I usually just default to castling king side without giving it too much thought. I'm giving up the bishop pair for no reason. I kind of played that on autopilot. Alright, here's my idea. I'm going to take bishop takes, give out, like make sure he doesn't have that bishop pair, because it is a slight advantage. Play here. Hit the rook. And then maybe put some rooks on the d file. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go here. Maybe double up. Okay, let's go here with the queen so the bishop doesn't take it. It is on the same line as my rook, though, so if this pawn were to push, I could never take. My opponent is playing very well. Okay, let's take here. Interesting move. I think we're okay now. I think we're up a pawn. Let's go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm up a pawn here. We are totally going to occupy that second rank. 100% yes. We could probably play like rook c8 and put the other rook over here. Let's push, and now we have a passed pawn. If white isn't careful, this pawn here could become deadly one day. Let's go over here and go over there. That is my idea. Okay, if I take, rook takes, but I can take this pawn, and if takes, pawn takes, this pawn is loose. But it's worth it for me, because I get this square. So then if it takes, I can go here, check, and pick up this pawn. And then this pawn over here is passed. So these two rooks are excellent right now. A move like this would be devastation. Check. Let's just pick up the pawn. No nonsense. No nonsense, chess. When you have a chance to put a rook on the second rank for your color, is it a good idea most of the time? Yeah. For sure. I'm going to set up a sneaky checkmate idea, and he doesn't see it. That's me. That's why putting the rooks on the second rank are good. Because they're scary. It's actually called pigs on the 7th. Like, it has a name to it. Or pigs on the 2nd in this case. They're just super strong on the 2nd and 7th rank. So if you can put them there without really any consequences, totally a good idea to do that. That said, it does depend on the concreteness of the position. If I were like check, because there's a checkmate in one threat right now. If I'm not careful, rook e8 would be a checkmate for me because I can't move anywhere. This pawn's protecting here. So you have to look at very concrete moves and make sure that you're fine before you think about putting your rooks over here. But if you can get away with it, 100% you should do it. My pleasure. So you're asking really good questions. Keep them coming. A chess player, I'll offer you a rematch since nobody's in the queue right now. You did ask. Ask and you shall receive. Challenge sent. There you go. Did you get the challenge? Yes, you did. Here we go. Good luck. We're going to play a Caro-Kann. And bring out our knights. This bishop move is okay. It does undefend that. Let's bring out our bishop. Okay, let's go this way to use a useful pin. Protect the pawn. Opens up squares for my bishop. This move seems weird. Let's go pawn to a6 and prevent any sort of nonsense from happening over here. To me, this move looks quite strong. We're hitting the queen. The queen pretty much has to back up over here. I do want to back it up and maybe go for like bishop d4 to prepare for knight e4. Interesting. I'm gonna not take. Let's go here. Knight takes, pawn takes. I'm cool with it. It does damage this pawn structure. This is a backwards pawn. But now, oof, I think this is a blunder because of this. And I have ideas of queen a5 and knight e4. And I think white is totally busted right now. This guards that square, but that doesn't account for this. And there's no way. This is too strong. I'm going to win something here. Pawn to b3 was a devastating blunder because of this idea. Just like that, the position can go to crap. There's really nothing that white can do here. It's just going to be a quick loss. Just going to take some pieces. Let's go here, hit the queen. That's a free queen. That is a free queen. Now let's castle for some safety. Okay. Let's put this rook on this nice semi-open file. Maybe knight here would make some sense. But actually, let's hold off on that idea. When I castle, it's usually better to castle queen or kingside. If you're talking about what's usually better, kingside. Usually. Castling queenside creates some extra space on the queen side that can be attacked. But you have to be very careful at making these kinds of like usual statements because there are exceptions to every rule, and sometimes queenside castling can be objectively better in certain positions. For example, like if the opponent had already castled kingside and you want things to be sharp and dynamic, you can opt to play a queenside attack. So, I mean, castle queenside and then launch your pawns at the kingside, and then you can double up your rooks pointed at the king. This here is a fork that my opponent did not see. We go here, pick it up. And now we're threatening, okay, we're going to just do it. Queen over here, check. And no matter what happens next, we have checkmate. Supported by the bishop. Soph, do you want to play a game? You might learn a thing or two from it. Good game of chess player. In the meantime, our queue is empty. So you can ask your grandfather. Okay. Good games, a chess player. You were better in this game than you were in the other one. But yeah, this pawn to b3 stuff over... Here, this was a blunder because it allowed bishop b4, and then I can just apply way too much pressure over here. And because you didn't castle next, that's really tough. If you had castled, there wouldn't really be such a major issue. A little bit, actually, but less so much. Unfortunately, learn chess with Sharon. I do not speak Hindi, so I don't know what that says. All I know, it says Hindi, and then a question mark at the end, so I'm assuming it means... The account name is quite odd. Grandpa9. So your grandpa's chess account is Grandpa. That is the coolest thing ever. Alright, let's do this. Oh, X on Boom is before you, actually. We're going to play X on Boom, and then Soph, you're on standby. Alright, X on Boom. Wait, I think we just... Didn't we play X on Boom? Wait. No, we played Yummy Time Apple. I was confused, but here we go. I'm a break mateable. Oh, we did, but Q is empty. Oh, do you mind if I play Soph first, and then if the Q is empty after that, we could play? I hope that's cool with you. I kind of want to play Grandpa 9. You're a new viewer. Alright, here we go. Grandpa 9, you are up. Normally, you're not supposed to play on someone else's account, but I won't tell anybody. Technically goes against their rules. But it's an unrated game, so I think we're okay. Alright, so if I sent you the challenge... Yeah, I told you guys. Nobody report this account. It's unrated anyway, so I think it's okay. I sent you the challenge. So, did you get it? If you log into your chess.com account, you should see a challenge pop up on your screen. Nobody say a word. No, it seems your grandpa's mid-game. He's definitely not mid-game from what I can tell. So if I search Grandpa 9... Oh, wait, his... Let's watch the... Okay, your grandpa started a game, but did not make a move. What are they doing? Okay, here we go. E4. E4, E5. Guys, we're all going to watch Soph's grandpa play a game. Knight F3, nice move. Okay, Knight C6. What do they play? Beautiful, just like what I do. There we go. Scotch 4 knights. Your grandpa knows what he's doing. Grandpa is a 703. 703 and playing a beautiful opening. This is not the London system. London system is d4 and then bishop to f4. Oh, there's a sacrifice they could do. Or do they know the sacrifice? I don't think they'll know the sacrifice, but knight here. Knight here is the way to go. Because after knight takes, you can play pawn to d4. So knight here, knight takes, pawn to d4, and you can scoop up one of these pawns. So let's see if they're going to find it. Nope, they don't play the sacrifice line. It's a good move. So if you should tell your grandpa, next time this position comes up, knight takes e5 is the way to go. This one is kind of like turning into equalish waters. It transposes actually to a Gioco piano game, which is an opening in the Italian. So this will be an interesting fight. Okay. Normal, symmetrical opening. Nothing wrong with this. Moving the bishop here isn't bad, but in that specific position... Oh, I see what you're saying, learn chess with Sharon. It's kind of like the London system, but with reverse colors. Whoa! Guys, there is a serious blunder that just happened. That knight move undefended this pawn. The knight can just grab it. That's a free pawn in the center. That is... Yep, he found it. Apparently there was a better move. But this move looks really good. Maybe the move was like bishop takes f7. Yeah, that had to be it, because if king takes, then this is just opening up the door for the king, so like the queen can swing in and stuff like that. But okay. I don't know how to exit analysis mode once I made moves on the board. If anyone can tell me how, I would appreciate that. But in the meantime, I'll just refresh the page. Okay, so we had knight takes knight here and then knight there. And this is solid for Grandpa. He should have sacrificed the bishop first. Yeah, that would have been better. But this move is good too. He's up a pawn. It's in the center. Things are looking pretty good for Grandpa. All right. Pawn to c6, hitting that knight. Are they going to take the knight over here? Are they going to move it away? They take the knight over here. Very smart. Good to exchange when you're up material. Okay, there's a checkmate threat right now on that pawn. Queen takes f2 would be lights out if white doesn't see it. The answer is to castle. If you castle, the rook is over here, the king is over here, there's no checkmate. But if they don't see this, they are in trouble. Yeah, castling is the way to go here. And they find it. Good job to Grandpa. Knows what he's doing. Must be a very experienced player. All right, next. What I would do is probably bishop e3 to challenge that bishop. If bishop takes, pawn takes, and we're on the queen suddenly. And then we can like play queen over here. Yep, queen, bishop e3. Is he on the stream? Is your grandpa listening to my suggestions? How about e5 pawn? Okay, but the queen will move away. So, and then you're stuck with an overextended pawn. Right now, where the pawn is right now, it's supported by this pawn. The second you push it forward, it's a little bit overextended and can be later targeted after the queen moves away. They could put like rook e8 and target that pawn. So it opens up some doors for complications. I think leaving the pawn here is the right approach. Okay, this move is bad because I think pawn to e5 here in this. No, that would be a mistake because bishop takes. But maybe just a trade, maybe just taking is good. Because queen takes, then you can like throw a punch at the queen, it has to move again, and maybe now e5 would make sense because you could further support it with like pawn to d4 or something like that. Apparently there's a better move here. I don't see it, but maybe like f4. f4 is strong. Support it this way and maybe advance f5 later on and go f6 even in some lines. Okay, let's see if they find it. c3 is a good move here. Yep, there we go. c3 on the board. Take care, chess player. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. You too. Great move. Great move, Grandpa. Hit that queen. Now we have e5. Here it makes more sense to learn chess with Sharon. Ooh, queen goes over here. A little bit off sides. That's a good move, but probably f4 would have been stronger. En passant? Does Grandpa know the en passant rule? I wonder if they do. Grandpa 9. You're going to play en passant? No, they do not play en passant. That would have won a pawn and create a passer. But maybe here f4, f5 would be strong. White's doing pretty good. They are starting to get into blitz territory. They're under 6 minutes compared to Black's 6-minute 27. All right, what are they going to do here? It's kind of a close position. Yeah, they're up a pawn, but okay, here we go with f4. There we go. That's a good move. There's a beautiful pawn chain going on. I would take with this pawn 100%. Open things up. This bishop here could be a little tricky because it threatens that. And then if like rook here, they could go for a rook exchange. King takes then queen here is just deadly. So I think this move, bishop to h3, is very nice here. If that happens, I think, yeah, this is a tough spot for white. The evaluation is creeping up, but it's sharp. White has to watch out for that. Maybe take, rook takes, and then the threats are still on. But at this point, then they could play queen e2 and hold everything together. There we go. That's a solid move. Takes, rook takes, put the queen on e2. Solid. They're doing all the moves I'm suggesting. This knight is really strong here on d6. It looks strong. Yeah, it is strong. Like, it's targeting this pawn. There's not a whole lot of flexibility for that knight, though. Because a lot of the squares you can go to, other than the square, are under control by black. So it looks nice, but it's slightly awkward. It's not like it's pointing at the king or anything like that. Okay. Will white go rook f1 and offer an exchange? That will be a good question. Or will black sidestep and put some pressure on that bishop because it unpins that pawn? That probably won't be very good because of bishop g4. Rook f1 is probably the way to go here. Yep, and they do it. Okay, we have an exchange. Would taking with the king make more sense? I think so. I think taking with the king makes sense here. But also, okay, taking with the queen is okay because it controls this f-file. I don't think you can go wrong either way. Either king or queen is fine. And it's those kinds of decisions that drive me the craziest. Because it's like both look equal, but I have to pick one. I can't do both. So it's those are the most difficult kind of positions where like it's like a 50-50. You could go either way. You just have to pick one and stick with it. But yeah, I guess this is okay. This is pretty good. Check is a threat, but here and then maybe knight here, but they have to be careful of like queen here and they can start harassing the king after this check and stuff like that. So some stuff that grandpa has to navigate. But right now it is Jules' turn. All right, they moved a pawn here because they don't want the knight taking it, but they have bigger problems. They have this, I think this check now could make sense. King can go down. Maybe this check, but again, they have to be careful of that. If this, then maybe that check can save the day for black. But maybe the king can run away. Here, check. Here, check. Maybe even here, but then pawn pushes. This could get tricky. This could get very tricky very fast. This is a big threat. Okay, queen here is what I would play in a heartbeat, but this is actually solid. Because after king here, check, king goes here, all of a sudden the king is on the bishop. And there are no more checks. Queen's in an excellent spot right now. I didn't see this move. That's an excellent resource that white found. All right, bishop e6. This is still a thing. If I were white, I would make a move like h3 to give my king a nice escape square so I'm not being constantly targeted. Knight's awkward here now. This is kind of a close game. It's not so crystal clear. This is going to go down to the wire. This is turning into a real blitz game here. White has been always on the back foot when it comes to the time. Okay, yeah, h3, excellent move, giving the king an out. Now the check comes, but now the king is prepared. They're probably okay to drop these pawns, because the knight and queen combo, they can get deadly. For example, queen can go up, knight can go up, and threaten mate. This is turning real scary. I think this is the way to go. It says 4.4 for white. They probably have to be precise. Okay, here we have a check. Solid start. Checks are always good. Checks are always good. Well, okay, not always, but in this position is pretty good. But where's the follow-up? Where is the win? It's saying 6.4. Dang. Everyone sees that white bar go all the way up. We are rooting for Grandpa over here. How can they seal the deal? I would say like queen g6 and hit the bishop. The bishop is pretty much trapped. Here, there's absolutely nowhere that the bishop can go. It's just a trapped piece. Here, there's a fork. Yep, they found it. The bishop is toast. Here they take. Here they take. Here they take. And here there's a fork. And here they take. That bishop's trapped. Nothing that black can do to stop it. Grandpa is playing really nicely here. Take the bishop. There we go with the check. And now white has the initiative. They can give more checks. I would 1000% play queen f5 here, check. Keep the gas. Keep the pressure on the gas. Don't slow down. There we go. Queen f5. And now they need to coordinate their knight and their queen to deliver the final blow. Or they can push this past pawn and get another queen. That has to be the way to go. That's the winning plan here. There are no checks that white could do. White could scoop up all of these pawns. It doesn't matter. There we go. Get a queen. Get a queen and deliver mate. There's nothing that white can do to stop it. They could try going here. They could try. But maybe even knight e4 sacrificing the knight. Because, no, that would be bad. Queen takes. Queen takes. The king is in time to stop this pawn. Queen e2 is the only valuable try. Okay, this doesn't do anything. It's hitting the knight, but the pawn can push. The pawn can push and then become a queen. And at this point, there's no more queen e2 nonsense. The queen is out in La La Land right now. Oh, apparently they have a draw. Because taking the knight comes with a check. I did not see this. It comes with a check. Excellent, excellent find by black. This comes with a check. They can pick up the pawn. And now who knows what's going to happen. It has turned. Black swindled. He's got out of that by the skin of his teeth. Now is white going to settle for a perpetual and go back and forth? Hey Tom, you'll be right after Soph, and I'm gonna close the queue because I will have to head out after. But now this can go in either way. I think white is just gonna settle for a draw. They're down a pawn. I think they'll go for a repetition. I think that's the smart thing to do. and call it a day. Well fight. It was a well fight. But Tom, congrats on your new job. They have a minute left. Will black try to flag white? I don't think they can. I think, or maybe here. Grandpa offered a draw, guys. Grandpa offered a draw. They declined it. Jules declined the draw. I would keep fighting if I were black. I would push for a win. Check. Uh-oh, this is starting to turn for black. All they need to do is get into a spot where there are no more checks. And then it is all on. Tom, your internet connection is no good. That's a shame. You're getting into the juiciest part. Kicking the queen away. Things aren't looking too good for Tom anymore. I think the momentum has turned. After this knight came with a check, I think the momentum has turned. What is going to happen here? Where is this queen going? There are no more checks to give black. Uh-oh. This is starting to become deadly. Now black is up an extra pawn over here. Check. King must move. The tide has shifted. Where's black going now, though? That's a key question. Maybe queen to f2? Okay, solid. Giving some more space for the king. Okay, this is bad. This just allows an exchange of queens. And they're playing into this endgame where black is up an extra pawn. This is bad. This isn't good. Check. There. This is all over. The engine is doing his own thing, but yeah, this is all over for white if black knows what they're doing. And unfortunately, Grandpa lost on time from a completely winning position. It's just that they didn't realize it. I didn't realize it too, that taking the knight would come with the check. I'm setting a challenge to Grandpa right now. Here we go. I don't know if I'm playing Soph or I'm actually playing the Grandpa, but either way, we have a game. Let's see what is going on. Ready to play? All right, let's do it. Good luck. Good luck, Soph. All right, Caro Con time. Let's go over here. Pawn to d5. Oh, we have a classical variation. Knight takes, we're going to play knight f6 and challenge that knight right away. We take back with the pawn. If knight comes here, it's looking at some awkward squares. Okay, check. We'll go here, bishop e7, probably castle next. Let's go over here. Threatening something nasty. This check is nasty. Even though he could block with the pawn, that opens the door for rook e8. So we're going to do that. Rook e8. Nasty position. They have to play knight e5. I'm going to take the knight. If they take the bishop, I take the pawn with my pawn. And then the rook is back on that pin. So I'm going to win a piece right away. We take. They cannot take that bishop. If they do, this lights out. All right, solid move. What to do? I guess it makes sense to just back up the bishop like this. Keep some control. Enjoy our extra piece. We have 3 pieces to our opponent's 2. This is fantastic for us. Let's go with pawn to g6 to prepare bishop to f5 to hit the queen. Maybe queen c7. Okay, that's a free queen. We take free queens. Now this creates some serious light squared weaknesses. So let's go here. And we're going to try to occupy the light squares. I think bishop e4 is the way to go, threatening mate over here. This mate is kind of unstoppable. Here is a great move. If they take the bishop, they get mated. If they push the pawn, this blunders the bishop. Boom. Now we're up 2 pieces, not just 1. Okay, the mate's technically stoppable, but at the cost of a whole piece. So let's go here. We're going to protect everything. And where is my opponent going now? If they try to put a rook over here, that's fine. I'll just put a knight here and then challenge it. I'm not worried in this position. Up a queen, up a bunch of pawns. Alright, bishop needs to move. Let's go there. What's up, a chess player? Welcome back. I thought you left for the day. We're just playing Tom after this game, and then we're going to call it a day. Alright, the rook moves. The rook has moved. I think this is a good move for me, because now there's all sorts of pressure on h2. And there's no way to defend it. They would have to move the king here and allow me to take king here, but I could actually take with the bishop, and I think it's a little bit smarter. Yeah, we take with the bishop. If king goes here, this is... I'm sorry. If king goes here, this is mate in 2. And they did. So we go here. Oh, this is not a mate in 2. The king can come here. The king can come there. Making things tricky for me, but let's go here. Check. Well, they go back. Let's try this. They go there. What to do? I guess let's just make a normal move. They have 10 seconds. See you later. Tom, are you up? Okay, we have a win. I think, Tom, are you still here? Not a pawn burglar? Is that your username? Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure that's you. Not a pawn burglar. Like, pretty sure. Hey, Prince. I must have misspelled this one. I messed this one up. Burglar. There we go. Prince, are you subbed to my channel? We're going to play a little quicker game. We'll do 1 minute with 1 second increment so we can play Prince also. Prince, if you want to drop your chess.com username, I'll play you next, as long as you're subbed to my channel. All right, we have Karo Khan, advanced variation. And we'll go here. All right, we need to play it a little bit faster than a normal 3-minute game. But we do have the increment on our side, so that's a plus. No pun intended. The queue is closed, so the exclamation mark join won't work right now, but I'll make an exception here, as long as you sub to my channel. If we have a deal, let me know your chess.com username. So sometime before this game ends. We're hitting the queen right now. Alright, let's go open things up with our rook. Nice move. Let's go here. Target this pawn. We take this way. We are a little bit exposing ourselves, but I think we're okay. Let's take the pawn. We're threatening some discoveries. This, I could give a check and pick up the bishop. Also threatening like this. Check from the queen. Okay, this is a good move. But I could give a double check. I think we should just take the pawn. Or take with the pawn. Alright, no more discoveries. But we could win a rook in the corner. We might keep our knight here for the time being. Oh, I think I'm going to take a clean bishop. I think it's better than taking the rook. Let's go here. Now we're forking these rooks. This makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. I don't want that to happen. Let's protect. Stop any shenanigans. And we go over there. Let's go with taking that knight. Prince, let me know your chess.com username. All right, let's go with taking that rook. And then we have mate on the next move. We're just going to grab the queen. And there we go. Prince, I gave you till the end of this game to play. What? You didn't put your chess.com username yet. Prince, do you have one? Good game, Tom. Always a pleasure indeed. All right, guys. It looks like Prince is not here. So that's going to be an end to our game. See you all next time. Thanks for tuning into Core Squares. Oh, we got the username. Mr. Zane. Saving the day. Saving by the bell. Awesome. Yeah, tell your grandpa to watch me. I'm sure he would. He could even rewind back to my commentary of his game. I think he'll find that very insightful. If you want to go after this stream is done, just go to my YouTube channel and you can see the whole recording of my game. If you just move the scroller to his game, you can show him my commentary. I think he'll get a real kick out of that. All right, Zane, here we go. Last game of the day. Challenge sent to Prince. Here we go. It's the encore finale of the stream. Let's have an interesting game. All right. I don't like Petrov. I'm going to try to transpose. And we play the same openings too. This is not... Oh, this is a 2-minute with a 1-second increment. Arctic Bear. Let's see, can one fan win? Maybe. Maybe. Let's go here. They're playing all perfect solid theoretical openings. This is technically a bullet game. This is what it's classified as. But come on, you have increment. You're not getting flagged. We're going to go here. Zane knows his theory. He's playing all theoretical moves. Good choice. We'll back it up. And we'll play queen to f3. And I think this is where we're going to start to have some differences of stuff. Let's go here. We're going to get a damaged kingside pawn structure, which is a plus. And I think we can play off of this. Uh-oh, guys, I made this blunder before. I have to give up the exchange now. We might see someone win. We are down the exchange. I made a huge blunder by allowing this bishop move. Uh-oh, guys. Can I go here? You don't know what you're doing, so you came back? And my knight's awkward now. I think I'm just busted. Let's go here. We need to move the knight. This is looking pretty scary for us. I guess let's move the bishop and then take back this way. Zane is on fire this game. I'm just getting outplayed. Yeah, hopes up. This guy is 729, and he knows 10 moves of theory and just completely destroys me. What's my favorite piece? Probably the knight. Not this knight because it's super awkward, but in general, the knight. I'm just busted here. I'm just losing. I don't want to go for a trade. I want to keep things sharp. He's about to occupy his other rook at some point, but let's go here. Get the knight involved a little bit more. The knight on the rim is dim. Oi! This bishop is gone. I resign, but this game is, I'm a little suspicious. I'm going to do a game review and see what kind of accuracy my opponent had. Okay, here we go. We have a 98.7% accuracy. 10 moves of book. Played basically a perfect game. And also the timing of their moves was slightly concerning. It was like every 3 seconds, they were moving a piece. I'm not going to say anything further, but I don't think we were playing Zane there. That's my opinion. All right, guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Pretty sure it was. It was kind of, like, after we played like 10 moves of like theory, I mean, I had some alarm bells go off, but like, come on, after seeing a 98.7 and this guy is rated 729 with only 3 games played and joined May 7th, joined today. That's not suspicious. Alrighty, everyone. Take care for now. Arctic Bear, happy to, but next time. So if you want to sub to my channel, catch me next time, and I'll play more Blitz. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.